All right. Glad everybody is here today. We have a special treat today. Dr. Felix Sabates will offer us a first-hand account of selected aspects of the history of our School of Medicine and of Hospital Hill and its many excellent institutions. He was here as the history unfolded, as were several other people I see in the room, and he played a significant role in shaping it. Within the School of Medicine, of course, we know Dr. Sabates as the founder of our Department of Ophthalmology, as well as the Eye Foundation of Kansas City. In addition, he is a leader, an entrepreneur, and an innovator. His tireless efforts as educator, researcher, and clinician have provided a greater understanding of eye disease and approaches to treatment. He is responsible for cutting-edge therapies that help people with eye disorders maintain and in many cases improve their abilities to see the world around them. Dr. Sabates' personal and professional stories are compelling. Born in Cuba in 1930, he earned his medical degree at the University of Havana School of Medicine. He came to the United States in 1956, completed a residency at the State University of New York Health Science Center in Brooklyn, and continued his ophthalmology training at Massachusetts Eye and Ear Infirmary. Dr. Sabates quickly earned a reputation as a top eye surgeon. In 1966, he was teaching at the University of Missouri School of Medicine in Columbia when he accepted a new position to direct the eye program at Kansas City's General Hospital. When UMKC School of Medicine was established in 1971, Dr. Sabates became chief of the Division of Ophthalmology. Under his guidance, the ophthalmology program eventually received status as its own department, and Dr. Sabates became the first chair of the UMKC Department of Ophthalmology. Dr. Sabates has been recognized for his expertise in eye care, with many invited lectureships, honors, and awards, notably the Senior Honor Award from the American Academy of Ophthalmology. Just last week, Dr. Sabates was granted the title of Professor Emeritus upon his official retirement from UMKC, although he still seemed to be doing quite a few things. I suspect that it is Dr. Sabates' wife, Carmen, who knows the real history of Hospital Hill, but today we have the privilege of hearing a very special perspective from someone who played an important part in shaping it. Please join me in a warm welcome for Dr. Felix Sabates.
I want to make sure that I don't go over time. My friend over there told me, said, Felix, you have to present a PowerPoint presentation and so forth. So I want to show him that I can do it. Anyone that can do 6-minute PowerPoint presentation, fine. Well, let me start by saying I need to know how to handle this. Go right or left. Okay, no, that's it. Okay. So something not very funny happened to me in my way to Havana. I ended up in Columbia, Missouri. Well, it was shocking to a certain extent. But I met the best people in the United States. That was a gift that someone else there decided for me. Now, when I was ready to come, Dr. Sabates, my mentor, said to me, you're going into the lion's mouth. He said, on one side, in St. Louis, so-and-so, in Kansas City, so-and-so, they don't like me, and this was Dr. Sabates, the creator of the field of retina. Another advice he gave me, he said, do not trust deans or administrators. Well, I tell you, I had no problem with the deans here, well, with the exception maybe of one. But basically, it has been quite a ride. The people were they biased? Well, they didn't know. I was the first Cuban in the town, And I remember getting into the elevator, they would look at me without saying good morning, say, where you come from? And I thought, oh, how rude. No, they wanted to know. They wanted to know. So I started playing games. Japan. so they look at me, and therefore, but I understood they wanted to know about me. This is basically what it is. My son, Nelson, was born in Columbia, Missouri. He's a Colombian. And so therefore, he's rushing around here, doing our thing. But I hope he's videotape, and we show it to him. Maybe I won't. I'll ask him to come to ask me for it. Well, anyway, primarily, it's been a great time. Suddenly, I received a book. I received today a book from Mamie Hughes, which actually, Mamie, excuse me, what is Mamie? Mamie? Yeah, maybe. You excuse me, but I was too anxious to read it, so I ordered one. And I have just barely came in from Baltimore last night, and I look at it, so I took a picture of it. And you use something that's called Mamie Who. So I don't want to copy too much. Plagiarism is something that is sometimes accused writers. I'm not a writer. But when I came to Columbia, Missouri, was Felix Who. Here's a guy from Cuba, an immigrant. Oh, but I had the skills. My mentor, Charles Kepping, was a great man. And he taught me everything I needed to know about detached retina. There was no one in the area with the training that I had, all the way to Colorado, all the way to Iowa, and so forth and so on. And when someone mentioned, I said, you were a Cuban, you had done well. I said, never underestimate a hungry Cuban in the middle of the United States. I had fun. So I want to make sure that I don't go over my time. I want to make sure that you know what the old city hospital looked like. It was terrible. I mean, some people, psychiatry was put there, but primarily it was not a good place. This was a place where people didn't want to come at night. It was just so bad that I got upset. I said, not even in Cuba we had this kind of situation. This is a wealthy country. Well, the story goes, and you can buy the book and see the whole story, because I'm a big talker, so I was warned not to talk too much. So I got a lady there, the two ladies who thought it was on me. This was a clinic, but I remember this lady on the left, who's called Hazel, remember well? And I say, Hazel, we need some supplies. She's run out. Where she stole it from or where she got it from, I don't know, I didn't ask. In the right was a young man there, one of the first residents there at General Hospital, and he got into trouble. They have a union. And Great Diamond let me know, in the way that Gray used to do it, push someone to do what he doesn't like to do. He said, Felix, you accepted that man for residency. Look at his records. So I say, great, I already look at the record, but you are the chancellor. If you say, I do it. No, he wouldn't do it. So he finished the residency, and now he practiced, and he's now retired and so forth. So it was actually the independence that my father taught to me, and the fact that it didn't have to be a General Hospital. The fact that I enjoyed that. No, I was not Mother Teresa, all right? I learned very quickly the tools of capitalism to do what I wanted to do. And I met great men. A Great Diamond, man from Mississippi. Wow, what a brain. He was the one that eventually said, this is the research hospital, for those of you who don't remember, but that was a German hospital, and that was the site where the Eye Foundation was built. It was Great Diamond that told me, selected, there was a lot there. He was the one that indicated to me, Felix is the place. So as I look back, everything I did here, a lot of help. Way before that, in Columbia, Missouri, I met a great guy. His name was Richard Novak. Wow, a lifetime member, lifetime friend. But then here is Dr. Charles Kepping cutting the ribbons for the opening of it. Now, I put there the picture of a great friend, Al Morrow, civic leader, my first friend in Kansas City. Now, Al, I'm sorry, I want to tell you a story, had a detached retina. He had excruciating time lying down in bed. That was the old treatment. Lie down in bed with patches in both eyes for 2 months. That was the way that we should do it. And Dr. Kepping, he revolutionized the whole field. So he was lucky somebody like him upstairs. So he actually, we became very good friends. He was involved in City Hospital. He told me the story about one hospital for the black, one for the white. I said, what? You know, it's just something that, he was part of it. Okay, now, so let's go back now to the event. It was a great event. That was the evening hour. And the thing is, it's interesting at night. It was supposed at night. And people were afraid to come into in the evening. They were afraid of it. And they're going to be these people of society coming. So I remember very well, one of them meant Henry Cuba. She engineered to have people dressed with big, tough guys dressed with tuxedo. And he was walking around. I was elegant. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got assaulted. But it was a very interesting. And then the question is, people will not come to have surgery, and even in the new hospital, but there was no new hospital at that time, but they will come. If I tell them back there in the south, hey, I want you to have surgery there. They want to come in and go out. And this was the first time that there was an outpatient surgical facility. Outpatient surgical facility. I said, what a great idea. And that was great. It was first class. No, people cannot walk without shoes. Not people have to behave. But basically, it was the same standard of care that we had in the starting office. Now, Dr. Greydama, in the year 2006, Betty Idris gave a nice event I say I want to do at the dialysis. Some of you were there. And so then there was the 40-year anniversary of the medical school. And he said to some of the Kansas City Star was all over the place all the time. He says, go to Felix, he was here before. And she found this great writer from the Kansas City Star. Her name was Cindy Hodel. That was 2010. Wow. She wrote a tremendous work. At that time was the Kansas City Star magazine. It was the largest pages created there. And he went to the editor, and the editor says, no, you cannot have more than 2 pages. So when he read that, he said, you're right. Well, anyway, I still have some copies. So anyway, it was great meeting her. What did she ask me? The first question. Had you ever been discriminated? It was the environment. Didn't know much about Hospital Hill. I said, yeah, but I didn't pay attention to it. She put a very nice condescending. Oh, she's a great writer. She knows how to put things together. And she actually helped in the book. And that's another story which I won't tell you. So therefore, I'm going to go ahead. So he wrote that letter saying, Dr. Greydama said, you were here before that, but he went on and on. So the Eye Foundation in Kansas City was built. No finances from anyone, not the university, not the hospital. It was donation from my patients. These were Kansas City, the people in Kansas City. There was a lady from Kansas, from Paola, Kansas. Mrs. Wallace owned the lumberjack, a big business. She had training, she was a teacher, she had been in Michigan, And she, in Paola, her husband died early, and she ran her number, and she hated to pay taxes. And one day she came to my office, and it was referred. And I said to her, you know, Mrs. Wallace, I have some ideas to develop a foundation. And I wondered, you know, I don't like to ask for money. And she looked at me and said, Doctor, you've never been shy about anything. I said, oh, this is personal. Anyway, to make the story short, she gave me money every December. She would call. I was down Democrat, I don't give her a penny. She was a Republican. Of course, they were making her, all the politicians would go to there and so forth. But in the town of Paola, she actually was quietly, you know, supporting some of the children to go to school. But she didn't want anyone to know. They want to know. This is one of the individuals I met in the Midwest, Mrs. Wallace. Great. She died and she left more than $500,000 for the foundation. All right, so the beauty of the place. I say to the architect, since I was paid for it, great diamond, they gave me the land. And he said, no, nobody can own the land. This is part of it. I said, fine. So I told the architect, Tikong Hu was Chinese, I said, build me something that doesn't look at all at that brick building across, you know, that they were building. Something different. My friend Al Morrow walking one day and make a comment, oh, what terrible thing, it doesn't fit the place. It was supposed to be that way. I went to visit it. It's a small area. It was a small area, but it was classic furniture. And it actually is the only building that is featured in that architectural magazine by Steve Paul. Of all the buildings in Kansas City, it was selected as one of them, okay? Okay, so the celebration continues. Now we have the little place here. You know, this is right here. Now we have a great art department, UNKC Department of Ophthalmology at the new building. And I went over there to take some pictures this morning. Quite a difference from what the waiting room or the basement. This man was my hero. Autocrat, oh yes. Intelligent, yes. But a man from Mississippi that saw through to open the school to women's, to do, look at the auditorium here. This is 50 years old. Look at it, so modern. And most important, he developed a graphic department that was second to none. Second to none. Visionary. Now, I knew all the leaders of the past. As you can see me, Carmen Migliasso, she used to go, and she was at the old general hospital. I used to say to Ed Twig, who was the director of the hospital, you tell the gray hair man that he doesn't run the hospital. So tough. You head of the union, whatever it is. It's a long story. Here, okay, is the event when I stepped down as chairman, and that was held at diastole. Here's Gray Diamond talking to Al Morrow. He looks a lot better, right? You know, he's just, and my daughter just paying attention to it, which is not, we said not. But look at the expression of her hearing, learning from this man. And this is the other one, was Jim Stower, and he came over to the event. And this was, I remember, you might remember the name of the lawyer, who was the president of the staff here, the president of the board. Nice man. But not his only time I'm talking. Okay? Here's Jim Kemper, who was chairman of my board. For the first time he called me, he said, you're a good entrepreneur. I said, what? A banker telling me that? I'm here for the money? Entrepreneur? Then I understood there was other ideas. He was very, very controlling, not me. And we had some trouble on that. But primarily, we got along fine. He was great. He taught me that marketing was important. I said, marketing? What should we do marketing? He was a very, very bright man. And he raised close to $1 million to the foundation. Now, this picture, I have it here because I thought my friend, my lifetime friend, would not show up. But here, just talking to Dick. Oh my gosh, what a man. I can tell you this much. Ray Diamond was the thinker, the visionary. He could not have done it without Dick. Dick has the city, you know how doctors can be bickering and so forth and so on. Everybody loved Dick. Dick was the vehicle that convinced everyone that this is to be a community of teachers and so forth. That was your Dick. Without Dick, Ray Diamond will take off and go somewhere else. Now, then we have the old deans, like all of them. I had no problem with deans, maybe. Well, maybe that's all. But primarily, but they didn't have, you know, they have. The question is, I am like I am, I tell like it is, and don't double talk me. That's basically my problem. So, unfortunately, we have lost two of them there, so we have there, and I'm glad that Betty Drista, who is here, yes, and yes, Betty, and I really appreciate you, the event that we have at Diastole, and all of the things you've done for the department and the university and the medical school. You're still here. So now that's the past. Now comes the future. And then, of course, I have always invited the deans to come to my home and have a good time. And more important, he has a great wife, I can tell you that. That doctor of yours, I know that because, you know, so why we need someone with a pitchfork behind us? I have one, I know what it is all about. So basically, it's the future. I appreciate very much you put this event on. Now, there was an administrator by the name of John Bluford, who actually was, I would consider, the best administrator we had, until he blew it up. You know, he decided to sell the foundation. I was mad, it's foundation. Nelson told me, you don't have to. No, but he had only 20 years here. He didn't have the feeling that you guys have been here longer about. So anyway, we had a new building, which is there because Nelson put the money in there. But basically, that part of don't trust administrator remain with me, with the one that I really thought was going to be someone that I would really appreciate what he was doing. Because the first thing he said, no, we have to have a hospital of choice. So therefore, all these ideas, I supported it. Now, I've been called a raconteur. I'm trying to learn. I asked my daughter, who's got to the best school anywhere, and she didn't know what it was. I said, I don't feel so bad. I asked my wife, she knows French. She had an exquisite education. She's a classic lady. She knew. So anyway, it means that's not a buffon, not someone to entertain someone, but someone that's skilled in related stories and anecdotes, interesting. But they have to be true. They have to be true. And there's a lot of fun in life among physicians and everything, the high and mighty, all of those. But anyway, I will not tell you about that. Now, this is the wall of memories that I have in my home. In there, you can see, it's in my book, you can see my diploma from the medical school. It's folded. It was smuggled out of Cuba. And then I have all of those individuals who were significant in my life, all my mentors, all the events that were important. Along with it, do I have a pointer? Do I have a pointer? Pointer?
It's there, Dr. Sabates.
Pardon?
Yes, on the underside.
All right. Well, this, okay, thank you. Well, here we have a very interesting bronze sculpture And of course, several chairs that were given to me. I always remember, I was so moved. I was in my little office in Truth Avenue, and Dr. Tom Black, who was a neurosurgeon at Columbia, Missouri, drove all the way from Columbia, Missouri to bring me a chair. Well, you know, that was touched me. Took the time. I had that chair. And then you have another chair that the UNKC has given me and so forth and so on. But basically, interesting part of it is that, yes, you see in my book that I was president of every organization and this and that and so forth, but the interesting thing is the stories of this bronze. There was a Chinese sculptor who actually was a fellow, took a fellow, Great Dam, as I say, was actually very involved in China. In fact, I went to China in 1979 because of him. That's another thing, that man was influential with everything. All the exciting things I did in my life, I did it because of Gray. So therefore, he said to me, we have this famous sculpture, but came in because of the government sent it, but when he got here, he took asylum. He doesn't have any money now. He delivered, so he said, can you find someone to get some money to do something? I said, I always wanted to have a sculpture of my wife. I said, no, I'd like to have it. Well, she said to me, I won't have it, I'll let you have one. All right, so yeah, it's okay. So he actually did both. Then I wanted to have a plaque made. It's not here in the picture, but a relief of the three children, in bronze. Because I wanted to make sure that when they grow up, they remember their siblings, they help. Whoever they marry, they are together. They can get rid of the plaque and throw it in the ocean, but you cannot tear that off. It's the meaning of it, what I wanted to. Just like Mamie, you did a lot of things with your children. I think I heard your interview, and I think you're a smart mother. But anyway, this is something that I wanted to do. And then, of course, so he actually did it, and then he disappeared. One time, Great Diamond laughed at me. I said, what happened with him? I said, he bought a big, heavy-set green car. I don't know what he meant by that. The lady used to be with him. But the other day, I was looking through it, and I found a book by him. And I'm trying to get a copy for you for the library. I had only one. And there she described, he was actually with the national forces, and then he was trained as a pilot during the war between the nationalists and the other one. He was in St. Louis. He spoke English well. And then, of course, when the times got rough, he began to see that, hey, nobody wanted to. And of course, he was on the other side. So he wrote a book about his life. Oh, what a life he had. Terrible. And so it's something that we must remember, that communism in a big country like that, or maybe that actually there was a lot of hurt by the leaders of that time. Now that brings me back to my trip to China. In 1979, we went for 17 days to China. Everybody had to stay in the same hotels, and a couple of well-to-do ladies, some of them that you know by name, but anyway, so they went to, and there was no place they could have a first-class room or anything, so everyone was equal. It was an interesting story. We went to, and then we visited several institutions of them. One of them was the School of Engineering. So I would walk there, and I saw the young people. A group of three of them said, oh, yeah, come. They spoke a little English, and they set me outside the group on a stool, and a pillow. Sit there. I said, well, tell me, what do you do? I said, I'm an eye doctor. Oh, you're rich. Suddenly, all the conversation changed. I was going to tell him about you're going to be building bridges for your country. No, there was no interest in that. Bridges. So he's a good man. And I said, no, I did my politics too. No, he has money, but he doesn't give it away. He talks about giving it away. So I had my little politics going on. Suddenly, the teacher came out. They all straightening up. They could see they wouldn't talk anymore. I knew then that China was going to change. That was the young people. All right, I saw the usual social worker from some place who always wanted to see good in everything that happened. We go back in the bus, and Carmen and I, and we see a house with the broken glass outside. That anywhere else, you don't want to get in or get out. And I said to her, well, I guess they have something going on here in this country. Oh no, that's just for decoration. Talking about naivety. It's six now when it comes to Cuba. And actually, I never really wanted to write a book, but my patients, more than 100,000 patients of them, they always kept asking me about, I'm going to Cuba. Oh, it was terrible over there. Tell me about. Well, you cannot talk in 10, 15 minutes. Take your time to tell them. So I really got a little tired about it. At one time, there was the widow of one of my former residents who couldn't leave me alone. I was at the library, an event in the library, and they were talking about Cuba. I want to go to Cuba. I want to go to Cuba. Finally, I took that opportunity to get up and said, okay, I'm writing my book. Don't ask me anymore about it. Buy the book. So the book is there, and this is what I do now. People are curious. They're curious. And therefore, that is understanding. But maybe your story is a great one. And you, Mike, I can tell you, the picture I saw of you as the first year, if I were in a dark alley, I'd get out of there in a hurry. Anyway, I think I have enough time now for any question and answer because I overdid it. I just about it, but I haven't finished. So, that's it. That's it. All I can tell you. I was 19 years of age, and she was 18 or 19. 18. She was the prettiest girl in town. And she was strong as she could be. She's a direct descendant of a Spanish immigrant. And she had two brothers. Everybody told me, said, she's the brightest one of the three. Oh, she wanted to be a pharmacist. They wanted to be a lawyer. Oh, I would love to have her around, having their facing in social media. I would sue everyone that came around. But basically, that's what she wanted to be. She took an extra year of the high school and gave me the time of me and said, well, my father said, no. Women are not to be lawyers. You're going to be a pharmacist because you have this pharmacy. So she became a student in pharmacy, reluctantly. She finished, she became a doctor in pharmacy. She never got a penny of it, she didn't care for it.
Would you like to say something?
Because of that, she actually always said, oh, I wish. She is not only beautiful outside, but beautiful inside. So I want to tell you, Rachel knows, this Rachel we didn't know about that. Without her, there wouldn't be foundation. There wouldn't be a lot of things. She is not my co-pilot. She's actually sometimes the pilot. You like this time? Anyone likes this time? She does. Even when I bought it in New York, in the place I hung up, because I have a little mountain, So I pay attention to her. She always, you want me to look at. So anyway, mother, I wanted to tell you to all these own friends how much you mean to all of us. And the best is still to come. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have some few minutes to kill.
What a great story. He could have gone on. You are one of the greatest raconteurs I have encountered in my life. A man of vision, as I told you as I entered into this hall. A man of vision gave vision to so many. There's not anybody like you.
Everybody does his part.
Sure, absolutely. But we appreciate you. It was a privilege meeting you when I came to Kansas City in 1985. I could see the construction going up of the I Foundation. And I was impressed with the architecture surrounded by red brick. That was a real another vision.
This is a great medical school. There are 3,500 graduates. How many medical students are here? Good. All right. Are you part of the ophthalmology group? Oh, yeah. You're here for a reason. You think you're going to influence me? The guy who decided that's over there, and I have no influence on him. All right. Who else who's not going to go ophthalmology is here in medical school? Esto? You got one, okay? And I told Pesto I will go. I want to go to give some talk to the humanity. Yes. But you may not want it. I'll tell them like it is. And I say about what it is. This is the greatest school. The idea of having patience, that relationship, all of that. When they come, they go. Forget about it. Brett, now my son, he's been president there a long night, all of that. He's disappointed. But see, that's why at least we had a good crowd this time. I mean, because in spite of efforts of previous events like you have, it was disappointing. Those students should forever be grateful to the school of what they taught. It's a unique school. It's a unique school. I don't know any school like this. So, look, I'm a very fortunate man.
I'm sorry, no.
Someone upstairs likes me. Yes, couldn't get back to my country, but he gave me a better one. Well, that country, the best place in the country. I had leaders they were pioneers in the area field. And most important, that lady over there, she stood by me through thick and thin. So anyway, if you have any questions, yes. Oh, that's my friend over there. Okay.
I do have a comment.
Talking about heroes there. Huh?
Dr. Sabates, you meant quite a bit to me. Of course, I got to spend quite a bit of time in the D&TC building on the 5th floor while you were on the 2nd floor.
Right.
And of course, by you leaving Nelson here, you allowed the 3 OOO boys to succeed. That is ophthalmology, orthopedics, and oral and maxillofacial surgery. Thanks for everything that you did. What a man.
You're a leader. It's in this line. We're getting out. You'll record that. Please record that. Or let's see.
I remember the first time we met, and you told me how you cannot trust a dean. And then one of the best days of my life was when you said you made an exception for me later on.
You were very good about it. You worked very well with Nelson. You saw through ahead. And so you were very pleasant with your smile. You were very nice. Now, I don't want to be accused of sexual harassment because I will always look at the beauty of the person outside and inside. And you got me recording on that, okay?
But I just can't express how much I admire what you did to create what we have as a lasting legacy, to come here when there really wasn't anything here, and you built it, and I just have tremendous respect and admiration for what you did.
Thank you. remember, it takes two to tango. That lady and my young son who is carrying on the legacy.
Some of you may know that I've conducted a series of interviews with various leaders in the School of Medicine. When I interviewed Felix several years ago, it was the easiest interview I ever conducted. I asked him one question.
Well, I'm sorry I cut this slide because I have the event that we had at the Courage Club, and I see where my daughter was harassing me and my son. And so I was having a great time. Patients would come to me and they want to tell me the story. You know, you took care of my grandma. They want me 10 minutes. The people are in line waiting. There's one in the back like you. I have a picture. You were looking at it. I think she was checking out on me. I said, okay. And then there was Cindy and the lady from the Kansas City Star next to you. I have a back of it.
Mary Sanchez.
Yeah. No, the lady. It was the social lady. I believe.
Laura Hockaday. You had
She-
a big team from the start.
She told me, I said, you know, my God, you took care of my grandmother. You cannot retire. I mean, it was kind of funny. And that's what I want to tell the people in your classes, Lester. This boy, you're a physician. You lose the best with this contact. Of course, the human race, you are part of the human race. The good, the bad, the ugly, but the deceitful. And you got a guy there in Cuba who destroyed the country. Destroyed. It's deceitful. You got politicians, well, you expect them to be deceitful because they have to appeal to the masses. But basically, physicians, that's special. That's special. When you got, you know, the Joyce Hall of the world, the Star Wars, whatever it is, big name, applauding the poor lady in the black. I just walked the other day, and there's a man there. I walked by and said, he shouted at me, he's special. Make about 40 feet. Oh, what did I do? So I said, you took care of my mother and my grandmother. They're the hospital. They all have satisfaction. Dilate your coronaries. Once you got enough money, what is this? Have you ever seen a U-Haul behind a funeral? No. Or you leave behind in the memories. And in my case, as a immigrant, established a name in the country. And I'm very, very proud of my family. This is the one that started.
Felix, can you accept a comment from this corner of the room? I think everyone knows that we've had the fun of knowing each other for many years. I've had the fun of knowing his two superb sons and Carmen Maria to a lesser extent. Many things could be said. I would like to make it simple and extremely sincere. We've been in the presence for years and years of a remarkable family. They have remarkable capacity. They have remarkable application. And the third priceless ingredient, which we see less and less in public life today, they have good old-fashioned virtue. These are tremendous attributes. You all have used them superbly. We're all grateful, and we've had a lot of fun along the way.
Wow. Let me tell you, Dick, it's a tidbit. This book was put together 4.5 years. I didn't know how to. I just wanted to write something about Cuba. And a series of events happening, and my wife was not happy about it. This is something that is very private. And somehow, you know, finally I get Dick to write. I didn't know. I said, there's such a thing as a pre-evaluation or what do you call that? Pre-review in the book. And he wrote a very nice, very academic work. Here we had Cindy, newspaper lady, and they got into a little hassle. Just back and forth, tight motion. I said, Dick, motion is there. But actually, she was looking at the other aspect. She had been, editor of the Kansas Star for a long time. She had a lot of experience in it, but the academic part of it was important. And Dick says, that book is going to go all over the world, which is going, by the way. It's taught here, Todd Hanna, because Todd Hanna did the first interview of Dr. Sabates, and that will be in the book. In other words, the website. Todd was terrific. He's still here. Mrs. Steinman. All those names that come to me as I go along. Wonderful, wonderful. These students should be proud of it. If they are not proud, kick them out. Get another group. See what happened, you get these people that sometimes their parents come from well-to-do countries, and they come in and out they go. What kind of physicians are they going to be? I don't know. But primarily, for an immigrant who loved this country, and I quote her, the last line in my book is, "This is the best country in the world, because your dreams can come true in your lifetime." That was her. She told me one time, I remember that. That's true, okay? So therefore, no, I'm a fighter, anyone who questions this country. Yeah, we'll have presidents here and there and so forth, but let me stay healthy. I have some plans, but I hate to bring it to you. I remember we going to, Sam Rogers she was a defender of Sam and intelligence and so forth. So we had that relationship and so forth. And so anyway, I sent Cindy, because I knew that in your interview you talk about Cindy. And then I said, Cindy, call her up and see whether she remembered me. And she said, remember me? Well, you tell the story.
Well, how could I forget? I have to say thank you to someone who took care of not only me, but my mother. And I still continue and say thank you, thank you, thank you.
But she said, I took care of Sam. That's what she told Mr. Sam. Sam Rogers.
And thank you to Cindy for making sure we had the reconnection.
But she has been very essential for the book. She put some common sense in it, put it together, and she did it always that way. Don't put that down. Too many pictures. It's about you, not about the other people. I always wanted to give credit to a lot of people. No, it's about you. And she really, hard working as it could be, And so, the next book is going to be making over a book, Trials and Tribulation. I'll get you in there. Well, anyway, look, I really appreciate you giving the time and being, and I look forward to have you better have over there. It's kind of fun. I like her too. And my wife, my daughter, and the old man there, I got that picture of you because I didn't know you were going to be able to come. And Al, you're all special, you're special. This is why Hospital Hill. I'm very concerned about not depriving our medical students. They're afraid, Call me up anytime. I'll give them a talk, I will even talk like I'm doing now. So there's certain group that's looking for residency, or they all pay it up and so forth. I can do that. But primarily, it's only one student here who's actually cared to come and hear about it. All right? And our resident Nelson, are they here? No. Are they here? Oh, okay, guys. 1, 2, 3. Where the other 6? There's 9. There's even one from there's one that from countries I don't even recognize now at that time, from Bangladesh. Another one from Africa. Oh, what happened? So therefore, look, my mentor told me one time a beautiful letter. Felix, I appreciate all you say, because gratefulness is not one of the most common traits of the human race. Well done. Right? There are 2 or 3 of us to make up for that. There are 2 of us who will continue to make sure that he will never be forever. And in the book you see there's a lot about it. Okay, so 2 o'clock, Fred. Relax. Very tight. Okay? Yeah.